Hey guys, if you're watching for the first time, please be sure to subscribe now and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single Sinful video. Please leave a like because that truly helps my channel grow. Thank you. Sit back, relax, enjoy. Stay sinful. I've known about this subreddit for a while now, but I've never gotten around to telling my own story, which of course I never thought I'd have. Since it's long, I won't bother with a long intro. This is all you need to know. This happened in my senior year of college, and I lived off campus. I had 2 roommates in my apartment, townhouse thing, named Natalie and Katie. Anyway, Katie was out that night doing homework in one of the school buildings, and I was awoken at 3 a.m. when I heard someone knocking at the door downstairs. I thought that was weird, considering the hour, but I figured somebody had the wrong place and would realize and leave. The knocking didn't stop though, and I lied in bed for a good several minutes thinking, yeah, they'll go away, they'll get bored. As one might expect though, I started to grow confused, and then kind of freaked out by this person's persistence. Then the knocking turned into banging, and I couldn't ignore it anymore. Honestly, I probably should have called the police instantly, but it was the middle of the night and I was just confused. So I headed to the top of the stairs to see Natalie standing near the door, staring at it. Her room was on the bottom floor, so she had just walked up to it. We exchanged a baffled look because what the hell? It's 3 a.m. This is weird. Natalie called out and asked them who they were and what they wanted. "We're friends of Katie's," said the voice on the other end, who sounded male and about our age. "We know her boyfriend, and we heard she was feeling down, so we came to surprise her." That was already a weird story, because again, 3 in the morning, but thankfully Katie wasn't even home, so we both informed them of this. "Katie's not here. She's off doing something else." Good. They're going to leave, right? They came here to see Katie. She's not here. They'll leave us alone, and we can go back to sleep. "Just open the door." I know. If I hadn't called the police before, I definitely should have done it now. It was weird enough though. That night I realized why people do stupid stuff in horror films. Not only had I been woken up out of nowhere, but it feels surreal to be in a situation like this. Like there's no way you could actually be in danger. That only happens in horror movies and true crime documentaries, and in questionable creepy stories online. It would never happen to me. I'm just a random, ordinary, boring person going about my business. I don't need to call the police. I'm sure this will get cleared up and everything will be fine. That's the internal dialogue that was running through my mind in that very moment. So yeah, Natalie and I did the stupid thing and tried to argue with them. We told them that again, Katie wasn't here. There was no need for them to stay. Eventually, Natalie asked what their names were. Throughout the encounter, we made out 2 distinct voices, but only one gave us a name, and I texted Katie without telling him, asking if she was friends with someone by that name. After a couple of minutes, during which we were still arguing with the stranger, Katie replied, "I am, but I don't think she knows where I live." That wasn't good enough, but even worse, she? The person on the other side of the door had a male voice. So this was a real name, but not the real person. Whoever this was knew stuff about Katie, like who she hung out with. I told Katie to stay where she was and to not come home until everything was okay. Finally, we told the guys that if they didn't leave, we were going to call the police. No. Don't call the police. Don't call the police, okay? If we wanted to do something bad, we'd already would have done it, right? Just open the door, okay? The attempts at reasoning with them basically devolved into them telling us, "Just open the door. Just open the door." Over and over again until we finally actually called the police. We hid in Natalie's room and dialed 911 and explained what was going on. Thankfully, there was a police station close by, so it wouldn't take long for them to arrive. Unfortunately, I made the mistake of heading back into the living room and yelling through the door that we'd called the cops, but contrary to what you might think, that actually didn't seem to scare them at all. They seemed only mildly upset and kept arguing. To this day, I can only assume they just didn't believe us or something. Then we heard a neighboring home's door swing open and a very pissed off man's voice. "If you don't leave right now, I'm calling the police." For whatever reason, that was what caused them to freak out, and they drove off. The police arrived and we told them the whole story. Natalie revealed that a couple of times she had just barely peeked through the blinds of a window close to the front door, and she noted that there were two men, but only one of them was ever at the door at any given time. They would switch, with one at the door and the other sitting in the driver's seat of a car parked out front, presumably for getaway purposes. So yeah, that's reassuring. They also hadn't looked drunk according to Natalie, and they definitely hadn't sounded like they were drunk. There wasn't much the police could do besides sweep the area a bit, but they told us that if the strangers showed up again, to immediately call instead of engaging with them at all. One of the officers did give us some self-defense tactics and told us what kinds of household items or chemicals would be best for self-defense. After making sure everything was okay and reassuring us, they left, and we eventually called Katie and told her the weirdos were gone. She arrived and was understandably a bit shaken herself. We sat down and asked her who might have known where she lived. She did know people who had come to the apartment, so some people, certainly, but Natalie hadn't recognized the guys outside as previous visitors. Worse, it turned out that not only did they know Katie's friend's name, but they claimed to know her boyfriend even though he didn't even live in the state where we were going to school. She swore up and down she didn't know anyone who would want to hurt her. By this point, it was around 5 a.m., so I didn't even bother going to sleep, since I was going to a workshop that morning. I told a lot of my classmates a story and it freaked them out too, and the entire day Natalie and I jumped at every unexpected noise, every shadow, every random movement. That night it was hard to sleep. I expected to hear knocking at the door any second. Thankfully, they didn't come back, ever, but that almost makes things more unsettling, in a way. I'll never ever know what they wanted that night. Did they think we were hiding Katie? Was she seeing less than savory people in secret? Did they want to hurt her? If they did, why did they never give up and go looking for her elsewhere? Was all of that just an excuse to get into an apartment of young women? Did they want to kidnap us, hurt us, rob us? Who knows? I try not to let it bother me, but I wish I knew if my life was in danger that night. I have the feeling it might have been. After all, they weren't wearing face coverings, so if they wanted to commit a violent crime, they might want to get rid of the witnesses. But despite how much I wish I knew, yeah, random strange men who insisted we let them inside for unknown reasons, let's not meet again. I was sitting in my living room, which has a large window facing the main road, when I heard someone knock on the door in the mudroom. My dad was downstairs playing on his drum set. It was well into the evening. I thought it was strange, but figured maybe it was someone who wanted to ask him to play quieter. We've got many noise complaints over the years. When I opened the main door, there was a man, probably in his 40s or 50s, wearing what looked like casual business clothes, jeans, black shoes, and a button-up, standing there that I definitely didn't recognize. I didn't really think much of it, but I kept the screen door closed as a precaution. Here's how I vaguely remember our encounter playing out. Creepy dude. Hi. I was wondering if I could use your phone. I need to call someone. Me. Sorry, no, we don't have a landline, and I don't have a cell phone. Creepy guy. Oh, that's okay. Do you think I could at least have a glass of water? I can wait here while you grab it. Me. Sorry, we just moved in and haven't unpacked our glasses yet. Again, huge lie, but I was panicked. Through the window you could clearly see we had lived there for some time. Creepy dude trying way too hard to be friendly. That's all right. Do you have a hose I could drink from? Me. Definitely freaked out. Yeah, it's actually right there on the ground. I pointed to the outdoor hose a couple feet from the door. Creepy dude with an even wilder smile. Oh, thank you. Do you think you could turn it on for me? Me, fucking terrified. Sorry, no, I don't know how it works. Creepy dude, visibly a bit angry but trying to hide it. Oh, come on now, you don't know how to use a hose? At this point, my fight or flight was in full force, so I just slammed the door, locked it, and ran downstairs to my dad. I told him what happened and he stormed outside with a baseball bat, but the guy was gone by the time my dad got outside, and I never saw him again after that. It still freaks me out to think of what he might have done if he got a hold of me. So creepy man who showed up at my house and tried to get me outside to turn on the hose. Let's not meet again. Thank you guys for watching and listening. Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel for future content. Email all true scary stories to thesinfulsavant@gmail.com. I will leave a link to my email in the description box below as well. Until we meet again, stay sinful.